it was more fun to attack something that I hadn't said than to try to attack what I had said. Basically, the proposal is that people that make very large incomes pay a rate that is commensurate with what people think is paid by people with those incomes. I mean, I think most people believe when they look at the tax rates and all that, that if you're making 30 or 40 or 50 million dollars a year, that you're probably paying tax rates in the 30% area at least. And many people are. But the figures are such that if you look at the most recent year and you aggregate both payroll and income taxes, because they both go to the federal government on your behalf, if you take the 400 largest incomes in the United States, they average $270 million each. That's per person, $270 million each. 131 of those 400 paid tax rates that were below 15%. Now, counting payroll taxes too. In other words, they were paying at less than what the standard payroll tax was up till we've had this give back here recently, but payroll tax was 15.3% for most of the last decade. So under the Buffett rule, we would have a minimum tax only for these very, very high earners that essentially would restore their rate to what it used to be. Back in 1992, when the average income of the top 400 was only 45 million, there were only 16 out of the 400 that were at 15% or below. But now there's 131. There's still plenty of them that are paying in the 30s. I wouldn't touch them. But I would say that when we're asking for shared sacrifice from the American public, when we're telling people that we formerly told we're given promises on Social Security and Medicare and various things, and we're telling them we're sorry, but we kind of overpromised and we're going to have to cut back a little, I would at least that the people with these huge incomes get taxed at a rate that is commensurate with the way they used to be taxed not that long ago, and probably is commensurate also with the way that 2/3 of the people in that area get taxed at higher rates. So it's gotten butchered a little bit, but it would affect very, very, very few people. It would raise a lot of money.
Well, Warren, isn't the suggestion that you can give about half of the 30% to charity instead of the government?
Well, but the tax rate still, after the charitable deduction, you have to give, if you're going to give 50% and get a deduction, it has to be all cash. If you start giving appreciated securities. And then if you give to a private foundation, you're down to 20%. Yeah. But
there is some exception in this proposal now, isn't it? Obama's proposal that charitable contributions help you.
Well, there's a bill actually by Senator Whitehouse of Rhode Island. I mean, that is the only actual bill that was voted on, and it did not get the vote. It got 51 votes in the Senate and needed 60. I can't tell you the exact precision on what it included there. I don't have any, there can be all kinds of other ways of getting at the same proposition. I just think that people like me that have huge incomes, and I have no tax planning, I don't have any gimmicks, I don't have Swiss bank accounts, I don't have any of that kind of stuff. But when I get all through, I made the calculation three different times, 2004, 2006, and 2010. And in all three of those years, when my income was anywhere from 25 to 65 or so million, I came in with the lowest tax rate in our office, and we had maybe 15 to 22 or so people in the office at different times during that. And everybody in the office was surprised. They were all in the 30s, and I was several times, in this area of 17%. And that's because the tax law has gotten moved over the years in a way to favor people that make huge amounts of money. Imagine having 270 million of income, and I believe there were 31 of the 400 that were below 10% on tax rates. And that counts payroll taxes as well. And like I say, my cleaning lady, and instead I've been asked to explain, I keep talking about my cleaning lady. Well, my wife wants it very clear. She doesn't have a cleaning lady. This is the cleaning lady at the office, Mary, that my wife has gotten she does not have a cook. She does not have a cleaning lady. And she got a little tired of me implying that she had one. So it's my cleaning lady at the office has been paying 15.3% on Social Security taxes at the same time that an appreciable number of people making hundreds of millions of dollars a year are paying less than 10%. I think it's time to take a look at that. Okay.